Hey friends, what's up? Ash here. Welcome back to Extra Gents Scents. Hope you're having an awesome day. So if you followed my channel for a while, talking about the main channel, then you know I have a thing for discontinued fragrances, but I don't get to talk about them very often on the main channel because people don't really like hearing about discontinued fragrances. I found that out over the years. People generally don't like hearing about them because they're hard to find, which I get. I mean, you can't just go to FRAGNET or FRAGBUY or something and pick up, generally anyway, a discontinued fragrance. I mean, sure, once in a blue moon, they'll pick one of those up and have them for sale at FRAGNET or FRAGBUY or wherever you like to shop. And you'll be able to scoop one up, but typically once they're really gone and discontinued, you can only find them on eBay. And depending on the fragrance, you're gonna be looking at a really steep markup compared to what they used to go for. So I get it, they're hard to find, you don't wanna hear about them, but guess what? Today, you're gonna hear about them. I'm gonna talk to you guys about 7 discontinued fragrances that I will bust out from time to time and wear, even though they may be really hard to find. So these are 7 ones that I'm still rocking. Let's jump into it. Let's check these out. And guys, I'm gonna hit you with those codes, Gents10, twistedlily.com, and luckyscent.com. Use those, save yourself 10% off the website, or Gents8, jomashop.com. That'll save you $8 off any order over 110. Now, there are other discontinued fragrances that I haven't talked about that I do own that I'll mention on this channel as time goes, maybe review them or do another list like this. First up, Gucci Envy. This is the most obvious one. I love this fragrance. I got a couple bottles of it, so I'm good. It is one of my favorite smells of all time. I absolutely adore this stuff. I hate that Gucci discontinued this and the other fragrances that they killed off around the same time. Opening is awesome, really nice, fresh spices, a little bit of sweetness in there, a little warmth. You got incense, you have sandalwood, you have ginger, you have cardamom, you got vanilla, you got tobacco, you got lavender. There's a lot of stuff going on here, a whole bunch of notes in the fragrance. It is, though, one of those discontinued fragrances that, you know, got a lot of hype. The price got driven up on this, so it's very expensive from eBay. If you find a bottle on there that's going for a really low price, I would be very wary because it could be fake. If you want something that smells like that, unfortunately, there's nothing out there that I'm aware of that's inexpensive that's gonna get you close to that. Used to be you could get Carven Homme for about 30 bucks from discounters, and that was kind of close. In the opening, it was closer. But then that one got discontinued and the price shot up on that too. So like now, Floris Santal, maybe that. Let's follow that up with another hyped discontinued fragrance that goes for a pretty big price, Mitzah from Dior. This is warm, spicy, and resinous, and is just one of the nicest smelling Dior fragrances that's ever been made. It has coriander, it has cinnamon, has incense, labdanum, and honey. It's just out of this world. You have a little rosy touch kind of around the edges of the fragrance. Unisex. Some people say it leans feminine, other people say it leans masculine. I think it's kind of right in the middle, personally. I got this one years ago, and stupidly, I did not buy Eau Noir at the same time. Yeah, because both were available. I bought this one, and at the time, it was that thing, you know, I'm sure we've all done it at some point, or a lot of us anyway. I was like, well, I'll buy Eau Noir later on. Kept putting it off, and then, yeah. Next up, one from Kenzo Air. Really like Kenzo Air and Kenzo Air Intense both. This one has a really cool bottle. I like it a lot. It is, you know, a little hard to spray. It's a little funky, but that's what I like about it. So this one, Kenzo Air, has this frosted glass look on the front. Kenzo Air Intense has a see-through glass, not frosted. Atomizer is built into the top right here. These came in 90 ml size as their biggest bottle, I think. Both of mine are in 90 ml sizes. And another strange thing about these is if you look at this, I don't think you can see it on camera, but it looks like it's basically half full, right? So it looks like I've used up half the bottle, but when you get these in, that's almost how they look, like filled up just a little over halfway. So it's a really weird design because it's this big, huge bottle And then it's not filled up all the way, but that's how they look. And the scent profile here, very interesting, very different. It's not the type of fragrance, if it came out today, that a lot of people would rush to it and say, oh man, that's awesome, I love Kenzo Air. It's the type of fragrance that if it came out today, people would smell it and go, that's different. Yeah, I don't think that's for me. Especially if it came out nowadays, because it doesn't have the common tropes of fragrances being released nowadays. This came out like 2 decades ago. It has vetiver, less vetiver than in Kenzo Air Intense, that has more. But this one is a little more anisic. It has this licorice feel to it as well. And then at the same time has this ozonic freshness and airiness to it, hence the name Kenzo Air. So really different, love the fragrance, unfortunately quite pricey from eBay. Next fragrance I want to talk about is this one, In the Mood for Love. Man, in the mood for love, man. Now this fragrance I had to get because the name reminded me of the Wong Kar-wai film. So I really like Hong Kong films, I like Japanese films, I like South Korean films. Actually, I just like films in general, but specifically those. So when I saw the name In the Mood for Love, first thing I thought of was that movie. I was like, dang, I gotta get that. Because when I had my humanities class, like I wrote an essay on Chongqing Express by the same director. So I was like, yeah, gotta scoop it. The scent itself is a really easy wear. I mean, honestly, there's not a huge amount of stuff going on here that really sets the fragrance apart, and it would fit in a lot better with today's fragrances. But on the positive side, this one didn't cost very much when I got it. I think it was like in the $35, $40 range, something like that. It's really, really pleasant, actually. It's got this nice tonka sweetness to it. Reminds me of a few different fragrances in different ways, but maybe not exactly like any other fragrance. So it's like one of those deals where you can pick out bits and pieces of other things and then put it all together in here. It has lavender, pepper, tonka, and cardamom. I mean, maybe like little bits of La Nuit de l'Homme, tiny inklings of Dior Homme, a splash of like Allure Homme Sport Eau Extreme. It doesn't smell like any of those fragrances, but it smells like maybe you took 15% of that one and 20% of that one and 10% of that one and mixed it together. So it ends up being a really nice, very wearable fragrance. Like I said, a good potential compliment puller, super versatile from a house that nobody is wearing and also has a cool name. So yeah, next I got a CK1 flanker that I don't think anybody really is looking for anymore. It's been gone for a minute. It's CK1 Electric. I love a lot about CK1 Electric. The one thing I don't like is that it's crazy expensive nowadays for what it is. The performance is what you would expect from a CK1 flanker. Not good. But then the scent itself is like right up my alley. This stuff smells awesome, super fresh, very green and citrusy and lively, like the perfect warm spring or summer day fragrance. It's awesome for that. What sucks is, like I said, it's expensive. So this is the type of scent you want to just spray on and spray on and spray on and spray on and spray on. Just keep putting more and more and more on. But you would run through the bottle like that, and then you don't want to replace it. So it's one that I'll bust out from time to time, and I'll spray it on and go, man, that opening is just so nice. And then when it dies down, I just step back and leave it, no reapplying. And I would say out of everything today that I'm going to talk about, that one, if it came out today, would fit right in. Some of the other ones you would smell them and go, okay, this smells a little dated, right? It smells like a product of its time. That one, if it were brand new today, you would smell it and go, yeah, that makes sense, that works. A lot of citrus in here, different citrus notes like lime and lemon and bergamot, lemon verbena. You have some woods in there. You got neroli. Like I said, just smells really, really pleasant, very fresh. To an extent, it reminds me of like Mugler cologne if it were less heavy and fresher with more citrus and more zingy, kind of like that. Okay, the next one I can wear pretty much as I want because I have a couple bottles of this one. It's Nikos For Men. So with this house, most people know Sculpture. Like that's the one that people seem to know about the most because it's a little bit affordable and it's been talked up as being a really nice and expensive scent over the years. But this one for me is way better. So this one has coffee. That's going to be one of the main notes you pick up from it. It has vanilla, it has tonka, a little bit of cardamom in there as well, and some musk as it dries down. Really nice fall time fragrance, kind of an under the radar hidden gem coffee scent in the designer world. So really love that one. And then last is Play. from Givenchy, and also Play Intense. But my Play Intense bottle is so close to being empty at this point. I think it only has 3 or 4 milliliters left in it. It is just like hanging on for dear life. So Play, I guess, because my Play Intense it's done for. So this is another one with coffee in it, front and center, but it has much more citrus to it. It's much fresher, not as sweet as the previous fragrance. So you have multiple citrus notes in here off the top, and it's really well done because it doesn't go overly sweet. Like I said, it's got more of a zing to it, more of a tartness to it. Then as it dries down, you get that coffee bean mixing together with black pepper and then vetiver in the base, giving it this really nice woodsy dry down. Really like this fragrance a lot. And when it first came out, it was done up to look like the old iPods, which kind of dates the fragrance as far as the presentation and everything goes. Had like a little play button and then fast forward and rewind button here on the front. Yeah, so product of its time, but the fragrance is still really solid, still works. And this one also has a built-in atomizer, but it actually works pretty well. So you can see it right here. You would think, oh, it's probably gonna be crappy, kind of like those Mugler ones. Nah, it's good. Smells really good. Like to bust that one out from time to time. And I would say just like CK1 Electric, that one doesn't really smell dated, even though it's going on, I think 15 years since it's come out. All right, guys, there we go. 7 discontinued scents that I still like to bust out. And as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, there are also other discontinued scents that I'll mention on this channel going forward. I'll do some more lists like this. If you still have some discontinued scents that you wear yourself, let me know in the comments what they are. Thank you for hanging with me. Thanks for your support. Stay safe out there. I'll see you again with another fragrance video another day. See you guys later.